Welcome, bienvenue. It's been a while, but we're back. And may I present to you Stephanie Mitchell Hughes. This channel is called Resilience 2.0, and we focus on what it is that's needed for you to stay resilient in turbulent times. Stephanie herself has been through what she would refer to as hard places, perhaps come through the other side. And I suppose part of the mission of this channel is to relay what those lessons are, and hopefully help some of you to avoid going headfirst into the crevasse, when by just a little thought and a little self-confidence and maybe a little bit of reality, you can avoid them on your own. Today's topic is in that vein. It asks the question, should we be picture perfect at Christmas? And the subtitle to that is living and sitting within your discomfort. So what do we mean by this, being picture perfect at Christmas, Stephanie?
Okay, so the reason that, I don't know about in your neck of the woods, but in the United States, around this time of the year, there is some conversation in spaces about the importance of, taking some of the pressure off and not feeling as if you have to have this picture perfect holiday season, that, your house needs to be decorated like Selfridges over in the UK, or your house
Macy's, or Macy's,
or
Macy's, yeah,
or something like that. And that when we get together as a family, not only does everything need to look like Martha Stewart came in and set it up, but we all have to behave in that way. And I'm not saying that, we just forget all rules of decorum and just let it all hang out. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is for people to take pressure off of yourself and just cut yourself some grace, extend your family some grace with boundaries, and not have these extremely high expectations. If there has been conflict or changes in the family, if there have been losses in the family, people are all going to be feeling some kind of way about those losses and about those different transitions and passages.
Right.
And people you're not going to even love, or necessarily get along with everybody in your family.
No.
But at the same time, because all of this stuff is simmering, we're not going to just have this expectation that because it's Christmas, everybody is just going to magically get along and magically all problems are going to disappear and be resolved so that we can look like we've stepped out of the Neiman Marcus catalog.
So
it's just not realistic.
Are you suggesting that we should be real? We should try to avoid putting on a fake attitude and a fake face, that we should try and just relax into this period? I've got a couple of stats for you. Christmas is a weird time. The lead up to Christmas, the vast majority of failures in business happen at this time of year. People withdraw from contracts. Marriages, the vast majority of them come to an end at this time of year or close to it. It's the highest pressure. More people have mental health episodes at this time of year than at almost any other. It's all driven by the pressure that we put upon ourselves to conform to a stereotype that is put upon us. We should be happy and joyful and all get along.
Right. And let's face it. If someone in your family has died, if you have had a tragic situation, if you are without a job or some ability to, you're worried about your future, you're facing financial hardship, and we think that this is what, to quote Charlie Brown or Linus, in the Charlie Brown Christmas show, what is Christmas all about? And what are the holidays supposed to be about? You know, and it's like we're all walking around on eggshells. And if someone says or does the wrong thing, then we go from we're just sitting there eating dinner and watching the football game to people throwing plates up against the wall. And what I'm saying to people, and this is actually something that my own therapist discussed with me before Thanksgiving, because the question was, well, how are you going to go into this specific holiday season? And I felt like it helped me to land, at least start, and go back to a really good and healthy place. And so what I want to suggest to people for the first part of this conversation is operate throughout the season from a place of gratitude. Yes, it may appear that your life is falling apart. Your family, you know, you're going to have to go over to your parents' house and your brother home i.e. home from the holidays or for the holidays with Holly Hunter and Robert Downey Jr. Your brother who you hate is going to be there. Start from a place of gratitude. And you know, if you need to remove yourself from a particular situation or remove yourself from the group for a while, then do that. It's okay. You know, we all, like I said, we just need to lay all that stuff down, because all of that becomes too heavy of a yoke to carry. So
it's like a millstone
out into sitting with discomfort. Right. So this is a conversation that comes up because we are having to deal with repeated instances and situations where we are uncomfortable. And we may want to flee who wants to sit in discomfort?
Nobody wants to, but I think sometimes it's a necessity to.
Well, and the thing is that one of the things that I have learned, and because I am hard-headed, because I insist upon going my own way, I have learned through a number of trips around the circle, I have learned that you have to learn how to sit with discomfort without getting stuck. Because sometimes that discomfort has been sent to teach you something, to teach you patience, to teach you to extend grace to yourself, teach you compassion, teach you authenticity, teach you courage. And so you can't run from discomfort, because number one, if the discomfort is there to teach you a lesson, you're not going to move on to whatever that next point is and turn the page.
Right.
Without learning the lesson that discomfort has been sent to teach you. At the same time, sometimes discomfort, you may be in a situation where someone is asking you to step up into a higher role, a different role, to take on other responsibilities. I think of myself in that way. Now, I'll just use myself as an example. So I am my mother's only child remaining. And my mother next week will celebrate be 90 years old. And increasingly, I am having to step up and step into things that make my mother uncomfortable because she needs my help. and it makes me uncomfortable.
Right.
And it makes me uncomfortable because I am very comfortable in a supporting role. When my grandparents were alive, nobody asked me anything. My parents were in a supporting role. Grandparents, they were the elders. They handled and did all of the heavy lifting. Once my grandparents were gone, then my mother, my father, my aunt, my uncle, they became the elders. They did all of the heavy lifting, and I became the supporting role. And I like being in a supporting role. You need me to pick somebody up? Of course. You need me to run errands? Of course. You need me to prepare something? Of course, I'll go do it. You want me to go help pack something up? Oh yeah, right. I'm there. I did not want to be the person that to do all the heavy lifting. I never ever wanted that role. And even though I am the oldest child, oldest grandchild, oldest niece, I actually felt like my brother and sister-in-law were much better elders than I am. I'm this person with a mental health condition, and I'm a person with, I have a certain kind of way. I call a thing a thing. I don't like nonsense and people acting out. And I can be very direct with people, and sometimes that's not necessarily a trait that makes everybody feel warm and fuzzy inside. And so I just felt like, they do people so much better than I do. And then my brother died, and I'm just looking around like, okay, well, I mean, hey, I'm it here at this point. And I'm having to sit with that. And that's scary. And it is often inconvenient. But I can't run, because if I run, then I can't just leave my mother behind because she needs my help.
Yeah, someone's got to take care of business.
Yeah.
Someone's got to look after those that can't be looked after. Otherwise, we descend into madness.
Right. And chaos and confusion.
Right.
And, the thing that I have said repeatedly in when these conversations come up is I just think about my father is gone and my brother is gone. And I think about, even though our approaches may be different, I think about ultimately what they would expect of me in this situation, which is take care of your mother and make sure all of her things are together. And, that's the charge. And regardless of whether I want to fade in the woodwork or not, I need to step up.
Right.
And step into that. And maybe, just maybe, this season is here to teach me humility, to teach me to pay even more patience, to teach me compassion, to teach me to readily extend grace to people.
That's a long shopping list there.
It certainly is. It is, but hey, and so, we're here in this holiday season. And for me, the challenge has been, with all of that going on, it's like gratitude. And I will confess that this past Thanksgiving weekend was really tough. I mean, I told you what was going on. My mother has decided that she wants to make her potato salad. And I'm like, okay, we're either going to make the potato salad or this is just going to be an activity. I'm trying to make dressing. I'm trying to get the food processor to work. And then I hear my mother yelling my name and go running down the steps to find that she has fallen in the garage. And so in the midst of all of this stuff going on, and people haven't even eaten Thanksgiving and family hasn't come over yet, where am I? I've had to bundle my mother into the car, and I'm driving her to an ER for x-rays. And in those instances, I was just like, gratitude was not foremost in my mind. I will confess that.
It's great to talk about it as a concept when you're not right in the midst of it all. When you're right in the midst of it all, usually holding your breath and swearing in equal amounts is quite hard.
Right. I mean, but I had to take, but at the end of the day, the charge was to take care of my mother and to also be able to hold myself together and not react. Learn how to respond.
That's a very hard thing.
I know, but I mean,
I'm not sure I could do it.
But the thing is, though, Gareth, is if life is here and this discomfort has been sent to teach you something, and you got to sit with it long enough to learn it and then move on. And if you jump up and run, guess what? Okay, your ancestors spent 40 years walking around in the wilderness, fussing and grousing and complaining about manna. I'm not interested in spending 41 years in the wilderness.
No.
I'm not, that's just not me. I'm not going to do that. And then at the same time, and this is, I can say this and then we can just end, but there's oftentimes, I think about Moses in the wilderness with the Israelites complaining and crying and whining.
Yeah, but 40 years is a long time to be stuck.
I know, but you know what though? We wouldn't have made it 4 years because I would have been like,
I don't think I made it for 4 hours. I mean,
but I no, because you know what I would have said had I been Moses. God, you need to go get somebody else to do it because I can't with these people. Because my bent is, this is the task, sit down and let's do it. Because I would have been sitting in the middle of the wilderness crying had I been Moses and said, go get somebody else to do it. Because I'm not doing it.
Okay.
But so anyway, what I want to encourage everybody to do,
come on now,
is to be intentional. Think about knowing and understanding that we are all rife with imperfections.
And that is normal. And that is normal.
And it is normal. We are not here to be perfect.
No.
But just decide as you go into this season and as we try to finish this out without a food fight, without law enforcement being called, without being on the news.
Please.
If we just want to finish this out.
Right.
Act with intention and decide what your intention is going to be going into the holiday season.
Yeah,
for me,
be happy,
mine is gratitude.
Imperfect. Be perfectly imperfect. Yeah.
I'm going and I'm sticking with gratitude. Okay. That's where I am. I've landed on that and I'm sticking with it. Gratitude.
And all of you out there, I think you could follow suit with that. This is not the time of year for recriminations, for personal attacks. This is a time of year to try and find your way to be happy and look back at what you've got and realize that, there are many, many thousands, millions of people who aren't capable of putting dinner on the table, aren't capable of having family around. So if you guys have family, then be thankful for that. And for those people out there who I can hear them saying to me now, I don't have any family, would be happy that you're here and able to enjoy 2026. It's just around the corner.
Right. Or, and I read a post on LinkedIn this week.
Okay.
By someone, and I'll send you the link to it. But It was very, very insightful because she was spending her Thanksgiving alone. And she decided to sit with the aloneness and sit with the solitude. And she chose that.
Well, do you know what? A little bit of solitude can really enable you to think about the stuff you can do well and enjoy the fact that you managed to get through it. Thank you so much, Stephanie. It's always insightful. Guys, we'll be doing more of these into the new year. Please look out for them. And hopefully, let's all pray that Stephanie gets through the Christmas holidays without being part of a food fight. If she turns up next time with a plate stuck here and bits of food there, you'll know she failed, but I'm hoping she makes it through. Guys, just keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars, and I'm wishing all of you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and just settle into it and look after that mental health. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.